at the rhythm of the sun. Well, I was wide awake until the dawn upon her face, and the echoes of our song as it hummed along. So stay with me, you are my missing pieces. Oh, you are my missing pieces. You are my missing pieces. So won't you stay with me?
Ahoy!
Ahoy! Even better.
Ahoy, hoy.
Ahoy! I sail. Good morning to all of our Martians and friends. If anybody can get that reference off the top of the reaction, I would be very impressed.
We've used it a couple times.
We have.
It's a deep cut. It's a deeper cut. It's not the most obvious thing, but it's a great movie.
Who can call it out? I would love to see it. We are back with part 2 of Tipping Point with Hua Chenyu. I was just reflecting on his name, Hua. If I were to have another son, which I'm not going to have any more kids, but Hua Fink just sounds cool. Does it not?
It does.
I think that would be awesome.
Yes, it does. I'm off center. Hold on.
Yes, you are. Wait, is that... Did you move the
There we go. I did.
Yeah, but that's going to
So, got the new camera.
It is? Now, the question is will it actually freeze or not? We're still kind of messing with it.
Yeah.
Wait, let's see what your other scene looks like if you go to the piano. Oh, that's pretty good.
Oh.
A nice angle. What happened? We just had this set last night. What'd you do?
I did nothing. No, it was just a little tweak.
Yes, all good. All right, so let me bring in the chat and our names. I'm going to press all the buttons. The coffee is live. All of our wonderful Martian friends in the chat. I don't see any guesses as to the movie reference. Ahoy.
All right.
I sail. I'm a sailor.
Dr. Leo Marvin.
Yeah, if that doesn't give it away, I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure what will.
Then we'll give it away.
Yes. Okay. In the meantime, shall we?
Oh, we're going right in. Okay.
We got lots to do.
I wasn't prepared.
Didn't mean to overwhelm you.
If you could be so kind, please hit like and subscribe. And ring that bell.
Wow.
The one he just rang there.
That's very pleasantly spoken. Well done.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah, that is coming from High Def Johnny. For better or for worse, I am high def.
We'll see if there's any freezing issues. Also, please be sure to check out the link below in the description where you can buy us a coffee and help support this page, this podcast, and today's reaction. Even consider becoming a Thronely member where you get exclusive access to our Sunday shorts. These are videos that you select and we react to along with voting power in our Thronely only events.
Do you ever have a moment where you just realize that a bunch of people are listening to us and then you just kind of like freak out?
What do I say? Everybody's watching. Oh,
usually I forget about it, but then every once in a while.
Happy early birthday to Hua Hua. Is it the 9th? Am I remembering it correctly? Or the 7th? I know we're a couple days away from his birthday. How old does he turn, by the way?
Yeah, how old is he? He's still a young buck, as far as I know.
Compared to us, yes. All right, I think we're gonna have to give the movie away before we jump into.
Nope.
I'm not seeing it. If anybody said the name, I don't see it.
All right, and the answer to the game that nobody cares about but us is Bill Murray from What About Bob?
Yes, one of our absolute favorite movies. He's turning 35. Yep. All right, on the 7th. Okay.
Oh, it's a good age.
All right, so we're going to start off. Let's see, where we left off was with Ship of Theseus. But we're going to start off today. One of our Diamond members, Richandra, sent me a quick link. This is just a 4-minute interview where Hua Chenyu talks about the creation of this album that we're listening to. This is on Hua Chenyu English Subs channel. So I thought we would start there. I thought that was a super cool idea. so we can learn a little bit more before we dive into the second half of the album.
My rap name is Mike.
We got subs here.
因为人站那个歌它是，对，我记得它是变了个拍型。它最早它主歌是4/4拍，然后到了副歌的时候由4/4转成了8/6，然后并且速度也变了。因为这个歌我们其实编得很快，我们主要那个歌难的点在于定速，就弹了个大概，然后突然弹得很快。这个歌当时我的 demo 其实是没有把它做成一个，我没有把它做成一个音频文件，我就直接拿手机录下来。到了跟郑楠去弄编曲的时候，我甚至都没给他听，直接就和弦一告诉，然后弹了个大概，我一弹，然后他就去弹，弹完之后，然后我们就指定有哪个地方是需要保留的，指定哪个地方是可以变化的，就这样。然后那个间奏就是要用那个变速，突然把速度提起来。
对，就是有一种回忆哗哗从脑海里闪过的感觉。
这个还是郑楠很厉害，
老板哥也很厉害。
我跟他配合的，你们每次南哥能给出很多新的一些超出我想法的东西，比如说那个《Red》里面有个小提琴。很怪，就最早的时候，南哥编的时候是加了一点点一些音效，然后我就觉得，我觉得其实可以编一个那种加一个小提琴进去，然后把这个小提琴用一种非常规的一个方法来去弄这个小提琴，有一些段落它在加花，然后但它是很短，这样就很快就秒 get 到那个小提琴。它其实有2版，第一版是郑楠自己编的，其实我觉得那个就已经很好。
I understand the need for the jump cuts. And, you know, because there's a lot of dead space, you want to move on like that. But my old age is kicking in here. I'm still trying to process what I just read. And it's
Richard's no
so
longer
quick.
a spry 35, yes.
Oh my goodness. I mean, it's cool that he's talking about the, you know, just what everybody does, right, as a songwriter. Now we just have our phone, just like do a voice memo, you can record it that way, and then working with individuals like you, where he just starts to play it, and then they just pick it up by the end of the song. I mean, that's...
Yeah. No, it just reminds me of why I just love the whole process of creating music, the writing, the production, everything in between. It can be maddening sometimes. It can, you know, the second guessing, the, you know, just instability of it all. But it's just such an exciting process. And listening to him even talking about how, you know, how he sped something up from the original intention. That's one of the things that can happen, or you can change keys, or you can change chord structure. You can change the vibe completely from what your original intention was. And sometimes it doesn't work out, but most of the time it's just like, oh, this is such a cool, different thing that I didn't even think about. And that's, man, when you stumble upon there's no better feeling.
Yeah. And when you're in the studio, it's amazing how even just a sound can inspire an entire shift of the song. So you might come in saying, okay, this is about this is the chord structure, everything else. And then you work with a producer and engineer or whatever, and they just create a certain frequency with just a different type of piano or a different instrument altogether than what you intend. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, now I want it in this tempo, in this key, and let's do this. So to have the open mind during that process is so important, because you can just capture something you never would have on your own. So it is cool to see the artist just kind of...
It's always amazing when you think you've reached the limit of a particular project or whatever you're thinking about. You think you've reached just the limit of what you can come up with on something, or what you can be creative with. And then somebody comes in with something slightly different, then all these doors open. And I'm sure people can relate to that and things outside of music.
In other fields, too.
Yeah.
Let's keep going here.
因为自己编的东西和小提琴手他的那个想法还是会有区别。然后后来录的这首歌的时候，乐手老师他也
also had their own ideas, yeah.
看看这样是不是可以这样讲，后来发现也很好讲。反正每次我跟郑楠都是相互给对方灵感，有时候他会想出一些我想不到，然后有时候我会觉得这个想法好，我保留之后，在这个基础上看能不能做别的方法来去尝试。他是个天才，
你也是个天才。但我们真的还挺想就是听你聊，就是六专创作 故事的。
反正以前是我每次会用电脑先做出一个，我会先编一个版本，然后发给他，基本上把所有的大概的感觉层次啊、吉他谱啊什么的，弹什么 riff 啊或者什么都会有个大概的，然后他再去把它给做的很丰富的一个编曲，再反馈给我们在电话交流，就说哪个地方要改啊，比如说那个永恒熄灭的火焰，就是我其实已经编好了一个东西，给张楠的时候，然后张楠其实已经听完之后就会秒懂，他会把我所有东西给变得更丰富一些。还有一些歌就是我就懒得编了，因为它在我脑子里面。
I'm just curious how you would maybe explain this, Johnny. So we've had this conversation with songs before in the past, or sometimes we have a mutual client. It might be a student of mine that you're working with, whatever. So when Hua Chenyu says he makes it richer, how do you interpret that? What are you doing as a producer to make something richer?
Okay, so say somebody comes in with a progression like this. I might do something like.
So it's still, you're not abandoning anything that the artist presented. It's richer means just really more complex. Sometimes it could be the way you played it. That was a great thing. And then
just
also
embellish it more. I can kind of fill it out.
The arrangement
give it a little
itself.
More. Yeah. So, a lot of the people that I write with, they don't necessarily play an instrument. So they'll just play very basic chords. So they'll be like, just the very basic chords, and ba 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 da da ba da da. Sounds like forever young. I want to be forever. I wish I co-wrote that song.
Right.
Forever, or produced it. So yeah. Da 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 da.
Which works. It tells the story of the song.
So I might try to envision it, and let's give it a rhythmic. Or it can be like.
Just a different feel. And that's the benefit of working off of just another creative mind. So you take someone like Hua Chenyu, who can play the piano in an advanced way, still can be reinterpreted with arrangement or different inversions, like you're saying. So,
and I don't even know if that's what he's particularly talking about. It
no,
could be
just trying to give an example.
Production arrangement thing. Maybe the producers,
maybe more lush with the strings.
Yeah, maybe added some guitar or something. Just kind of, just thickened it up a little bit.
That relationship between the artist and the producer is so special. It can truly make or break the vision of ultimately what we hear as listeners.
我不太想弄变了，因为我觉得那个东西比较简单，我就直接就去录音棚，跟正南直接一起编。这张专辑就是可能效率会跟以前不太一样，因为定什么音色是最难的。比如说有些地方不用架子鼓，要用太鼓啊，或者那些东西都是要现教的，现打那个鼓，然后我们找出最好的一个结果型。我一开始编就会有一种好的感觉，就是我觉得第一效率高，第二就是可以立马相互给想法，因为他给出一个想法来，我就会感受到，我觉得新的想法好好，我们就一起来讨论说，这个保留，或者是在这个想法上给我灵感。比如说那个温暖的房子里面那个有一个录了2轨人声，其实一开始我肯定是没有这想法，我们就是在编的过程当中突然想到这个地方，因为觉得空太长了，想加上2句，然后并且符合这个歌的意思，就临时加的，然后就临时在那个棚里面就录了2句，录完之后，然后我们就临时找一个音色，我们说要把它变成一个比较失真，做一个音效，然后我们现场就把它保留住了，放在编曲。
一开始我还以为是那个金鱼，
我自己做的，我觉得录音棚里一起编还是挺
很有趣，希望以后可以多有机会听你分享这种故事。
That's cool.
Yeah.
Nice little insight to his process. Thank you for that, Chandra.
I love it. I'm always very intrigued by stuff like that. Are you one of those people that when you watch a movie...
Way to focus on the music, Brigitte.
I thought the same thing. He's very...
It's his hair.
Very handsome. Great hair, yeah. No, are you one of those people that when you watch a great movie or hear a great album, you want to learn how it's made? You watch the documentary.
Yeah.
That's why I used to love those discs that I feel like DVDs and Blu-rays are kind of vanishing. because everything's streamed now.
All the behind the scenes
But
stuff.
there used to be great behind the scenes stuff, and I just loved watching it.
All right, we are on to the studio. We're going to listen to Quirky Psychology. We did listen to a live version of this, so this is going to be the studio version that we're going to check out today. And thank you to Lucia, Lucia.
Yeah.
Lucia? Yeah. Thank you for leaving a comment on last week's live stream. You gave us a quick little recap of all of the meanings behind each of the songs. So I'm going to take advantage of that. Greatly appreciate that information. So for Quirky Psychology, as humans, must we conform to predetermined rules? Should we live safely within the lines or embrace our dangerous uniquenesses? Sharpness is merely a protective layer shielding the pure land within. Being different is not a sin. Offer your truest heart, yearning to touch the truth, even if just once. So kind of reflecting on that as we listen to the music. So thank you for that.
Yep. Always cool thematic ideas going on with this stuff.
Here we go.
I love these sounds.
别害怕我的尖牙利齿和侍卫，我只想帮绵羊把暗处豺狼吓退。别评头论足我的长毛和气味，我会哭也会笑，只是不擅长作为。看是肉动物在制造世界多和平美好。
What a fun track. Like right away
Yeah.
it puts you just in a smiley mood, right? Just has this
Great groove.
The
Great
groove
bounce to it.
itself, but in the lyrics that were what the song's reflecting on, that again, introspective aspects with this. But as he was just talking about in the interview, choosing to do like a distortion. I don't think it was this song he was referring to, but this was kind of a cool transition thing. So he's coming out of the chorus with layers. Then the first line of the second verse, they put a slight distortion on it and it faded into a clear tone. So I want you to listen for that. Those are like these little studio things that keeps you just actively listening and keeps a sense of intrigue. So every time you hear the track, you're going to catch something new.
Yeah, they call that ear candy in the biz.
The biz. Right there's kind of a slight little like EQ shift that enhances the grit.
Oh no!
No! You froze!
Oh god.
No!
Oh.
Oh, we thought we beat it. I'm so sorry.
Anyway.
All right, let me back this up. Well, at least it hasn't shut down on you. Hopefully there's no overheating issue.
We'll see what happens. Jeez.
We'll see how it goes unfold.
All right.
Real quick, thank you, Oscar, for the super chat. Much appreciated. I think we had a coffee come in as well, Johnny.
Yeah, Joyce, thank you so much for your 3 coffees. Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you, Joyce.
就所有的人类，当温顺动物被轻巧学子统统被抹掉，被无解侵扰，我只好成为简单怪物。大山里
muffling up the electric. Is that it? No.
当我抹
Ooh,
去
what a
皮
major.
毛烙印和符号，融入了人世间一角。我舍弃所有强大和骄傲，只为能被人看到真实的样貌。他们都对我致意和微笑。
That's cool.
算
I was
不
wondering about
算
that.
是人和嗜好？怪物的心里，我终于明了，越渴望远离困扰，却更困扰。
Great transitions.
Down.
For more?
Is that going into the next track? It might. So the next one is Warm House. I don't know if that probably leads right into it on some level. But
Yeah, great song. Going back to the production choices that we were talking about. I mean, you could have gone a whole bunch of different directions, and
endless.
just going back to that concept. I mean, you can have the same song, and then you have 10 producers lined up, and all 10 of them are going to have their own unique perspective of, so when you hire a producer, you are hiring that perspective, and and it's amazing how different they all can be. So in this case, for this song, I mean, you listen to the drums that come in, everything's very dry overall. The voice is dry, so dry in the sense of very little to no reverb or echo. The drums, everything's sort of in your face, very crisp sounding. But the drum sound, so that the transient or the attack, sort of the high end attack, is sort of lopped off, whether EQ or just maybe they just chose a sound where the snare drum wasn't like, like it was like more of a, like it just had more of a mid-range punchiness to it, and all of those elements create the overall sound. So, and which was particularly effective when you contrast it with that bridge that they decided to go into, which is just totally, more psychedelic. You got the orchestra coming in more dreamlike, and then going back into that dry, punchy thing.
Psychedelic's a great word. I mean, it definitely just put you into a whole different dream state for a second, and then to have it cycle back in is just super well done overall. And of course, his voice, his texture, he does these cool little swells. What? It's kind of a, I don't know the words. Obviously, it wasn't in English, but these little it's almost a crescendo in volume. Well, it is, but also the shape of the formant, meaning the vowel shape itself. It's just kind of like these little bends that makes it really intriguing throughout the whole piece.
And what was that? Somebody wanted to know about the chord progression? No, nobody said that, but I'm going to talk about it. So yes,
Sure. Let me give you your close up from your nose down.
That might be too close. Do we need to do that for the guitar? Oh, okay. So yeah, the song, the first part of the song is in A minor. So you got sort of a typical progression: A minor, G, A, or F, E. Okay, which was really cool. Then they go into that bridge, which goes from A minor to A major.
Totally changes the feel. It still feels connected to what was previous.
And even within that, it kind of has that minor major feel where, to that C sharp in the A major chord, which is the major third. When it goes to that F chord, it becomes a C, a regular natural C. Back to the C sharp. So I love that. That's that Kissed on a what's that, the Seal song, Kiss from a Rose?
Yes, it does. Yeah, I recognize that. Yep.
That's kind of famous for doing that.
All right, moving on to Warm House. This is a soft pillow for peaceful sleep. This is the purest happiness of childhood, where growing up is a one-way journey, and that warm house eventually becomes an unreachable memory. May the bells of peace ring out, awakening the kindness within everyone, ensuring that every small soul can rest peacefully, that children are nurtured, and the elderly have a place to call home.
Beautiful. Before we do that, though, I want to thank Chris for the coffee that she bought, and then Vivian just bought 3 coffees. Thank you so much.
Thank you both very much.
Guys.
Here we go. Warm House. We have heard this one live, so if it sounds familiar, that's why.
Starting with the bass guitar.
I do remember this.
Love the juxtaposition of that really verby sound.
Yes.
Track.
Just gets depth.
房子很旧，旧的连悲伤都在逃走。那座阁楼有些老道，但也很温柔。面包依旧很多，可以慰藉好多次等候。小时候的快乐就是永远在时间外头。忘了睡了多久。梦又赶走忧愁，漫天的星也不会动。就算总有风离开，就算黑夜降下来，只要睡在我的温暖房子，我就还拥有所有。大人们都害怕路边沉默的猎狗。
This has. Let me back it up.
We've heard this before, right?
Yeah. So
Yes,
we
yes.
saw it live, but what I was just gonna say is it just still feels live. They really captured a moment in this, because it's so easy, and we've talked about this. It's so tempting to go back and do 100 takes because you envision something, you want to get it just right, and things start to become overproduced or overcorrected. I'm not hearing any correction on this. I mean, it was probably splice, right? Like here's a great verse, here's a great chorus, or whatever. I'll just call it a vocal comp. And it's good to take advantage of those moments in the studio, but there's all these little, I like to say flaws, and I don't mean them in a negative way. There's the voice kind of falls off. You might be might not hold out something as long as maybe the melody could or even should. It's just reflective of the moment. His voice will crack, not like a like puberty crack, but like a like just that little rumble, all these little textures, these vocal human flaws left in so purposefully, so beautifully. It just feels like untouched.
That's what you want, and they call it overcooking the ham. You don't want to do that, because it's
Another famous
sterilized.
studio term.
You end up just sterilizing it, and I feel like with the technology has been great in music, obviously, but like with anything, there's a balance, and it can sometimes just be overused. And I think you can get lost, especially musically, with the technology. It just takes out so much of the human quality, which then you start to question, what do we like about music? It's like yes, a great melody, great chord progressions, but it's the connection with a human playing something,
Yes.
and a vibration being formed,
Right.
and you getting that particular personality and perspective coming through this vibration of notes.
I think he's a master of just musical rawness, right? Just his willingness to just let things go and just express the moment that's there. And we hear that so much, even though he might have used some effects on the voice or certain EQ, whatever, certain parts of the song. It's still the performance itself is what I'm talking about in terms of it just being raw and honest. I just love that about him.
Yeah. Just real quick, we could talk a little bit more about this later on after the song, but the production choice is really cool again. And just as we listen to the end, just keep in mind the context of these first songs on the second half versus the first half that we heard, which is, where we started from, with that sort of funky Jamiroquai-esque thing. We went to Frank Sinatra land, funky bass, to like this really lush orchestration, and then now we're sort of in indie alternative land, and
yes,
it's so cool.
Evolution.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
大人们都害怕路边沉默的猎狗，为何他们长大后就不像小时候？我的玩伴总说想看装满星星的宇宙，不知疲倦的鸟能不能别将一切带走？忘了睡了多久？醒来满是忧愁。爸爸妈妈，可不可以牵着我的手？我绝不会忘了睡了多久？早就习惯忧愁，而我已经离开了温暖房子太久，在心底某个
So that sound there, I want to talk about that for a second.
Yeah. Was that his voice, right? Was that the whale sound he was playing with?
我还记得
Oh, is that his voice?
刻在窗口小
Might have been
小
built off of
的
that.
缺口，也还记得爸爸妈妈亲吻我额头。也许现在不过是梦。
Mm.
宝贝，我们会很快，很快就能再相守。只是失去温暖房子以后，我弄丢了我的枕头。
That's a special piece. That
Yeah, I mean that could have been on One OK Computer, you know, or One OK Rock, OK Computer.
what?
I combined OK Computer, Radiohead's OK Computer, One OK Rock.
Okay. All right. There's some logic to that.
Yeah, we're live, everybody. We're live. Yeah, it just has that you know, mid '90s Radiohead thing, but also it breaks into this sort of David Bowie, Ziggy Stardust-esque part in the middle.
That's a good description.
Yeah, I mean, and again, you create that sound. It's a very deliberate approach to doing something like that. So the guitars on that, when he breaks into it, everything's kind of a little more mid-rangey to start out with, like the distortion guitars, you know, as opposed to a really high-endy guitar, which would be too distorted, too big.
Right.
You know, so it gives you the energy, but it's not overbearing. But then on the top of it, he's got these little dreamy, like, you know, or that's not right.
It was a bad dream.
Yeah. You know, those little clean, they got some, you know, little
just like
verb
this
on it, just like dreamy,
dreamy sound.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then taking that little, like those little whale sounds, and then just digitizing it, and then throwing the effects, just creating a whole new sound that never existed before. All of those things as an artist is so much fun to explore in a studio that you just can't do live. You know, and then you can implement those things live, right, once they're recorded, but it's a cool process.
I originally thought that was a guitar doing that, and sometimes Sam and I will utilize a sound similar to that. We call it a space guitar. So you take a guitar signal, then you just drench it in reverb and this sort of distant distortion, and it kind of creates that really open ambient sound. But the fact that he did that with his voice is pretty cool.
Well, he calls it a Mars guitar as opposed to space guitar sound.
A gamar. A gamar.
All right, our next song, we're going to listen to this next one twice because it's a brand new one. This is Never Cross Paths. We're going to listen to the studio version, and then we're going to watch a live. Here's a quick little story behind it. Growing up means repeatedly tearing oneself down in order to rebuild. Fate flows like a river through the grasslands, carving traces of pain onto the surface of the world. Each version of myself has bid farewell to the one before it, yet every version carries a piece of resilience. Time never stops, and the roads we walk today may one day become the paths we return to tomorrow. So Lucia, I'm saying the name right. I don't know if you're here in the chat. This was left as a comment from last week. These descriptions are beautiful. Are these your words, or they pulled from his website? Or I'm just curious where they come from. But thank you for the information, kind of a summary of the lyrics and meaning.
Yeah, a couple of coffee buyers too that I would like to point out, if I may.
Please.
Jeannie Fong, thank you. 5 coffees. You're awesome. You're gonna get a Johnny O.
Yes, you will.
No, it's not a cereal. It's a little video. Thank you.
It's a little video for Johnny.
And then Marilyn. Let's see. You know where we're going?
No.
Goodbye, Norma Jean. Though I never knew you at all, you had the grace to buy us coffee when those around you. Sorry.
There it is.
That was forced. But Marilyn, thank you for your 5 coffees. And she says, what a wonderful treat to be listening to this album with you after a long day of work. Thank you
for joining us. Thank you. Vijandra is suggesting that might be from his Weibo account. But again, thank you for that information. So,
Marilyn Monroe.
All right. Thank you very much for the coffees. Here we go. Never Cross Paths. Studio version first.
一句一句算了吧。他向我不明的出发，那个站下错了他没懂，他回不去也走不动，他死不得也爱不活啊！是每个人都这样吗？是高尚的命运啊，是高尚的命运啊！看我。
Let me pause here. One of the things I like about the song immediately is the atmosphere that you were just talking about, space, right? Kind of like coming off the last song, you're already in space. There's this feeling of just nothingness, but everything is around you, right? It's just kind of like separation. Exactly, a meditative state is kind of where it puts you. And this song just deepens that feeling, and almost like, that other Galaxy-esque. That's where my mind is going with this. And a lot of it has to do with just the usage of the pads. And I remember, Latte Lover, you asked, I think it was last week, you asked what are pads? What does that mean exactly? Again, I kind of want to hand this off to you, Johnny, to describe what that is.
Yeah. So, in the 1980s, people used to like to have really big shoulders, so they would put pads in their coats.
Fantastic.
And
I was like, wow, Johnny breaking out the nerd science. He's gonna date the time that pads were created by synthesizers, but no, we went shoulder pads.
No, those pads are extinct, I believe. So yes, musical pads. So, how do you describe them in words? So, a sound, I would say a sound that is devoid of, again, transient, which is transients are sort of a more of a tacky type of tone, like a snare drum is a tacky, but also an instrument can have a higher end attack to it. So you're kind of taking out that higher frequency. It'd probably be easier to just show you. So
I'll say I can give an example even on piano. I don't know what you have in mind, but like if I hit the piano note, there's an initial attack and then there's the ring after. I'm going to turn the volume off and just fade in after I hit the piano. This is what you get. So it's a little, it's like the echo of the initial attack. And what example were you going to give there?
So I'll do an even bigger contrast. So a regular piano, right? It's got an attack to it, okay? Mm-hmm. So then to contrast that, so this is a string pad, which let's go. See, it's just kind of like got a softer sound. It just blends a little bit more. You can't really hear you can hear the onset of a note, but you can't really hear a definite attack.
It really separates instruments and just the percussive nature between one and another. So the trail of sound between a piano versus a glockenspiel versus an organ versus whatever is going to have its own identifiable range of frequencies that's there. And
and you can
synthesizers.
No, you can have a whole spectrum of different pads too. You can have pads like in the 80s, they had songs would actually feature these pads, but also
very much so.
Very pad heavy, and I'm trying to think like like that type of thing. But it would be a little bit more of an aggressive sound, still a pad. But then you could also go very ambient with it, where it's almost just more of just it's subliminal, and you don't necessarily hear it super obviously, but what it does in that case is it just gives the whole track a dimension. So it just makes it a little more 3D, so everything's not just up front. So just
very often it's used in the background of a chorus where it's not an obvious sound, but it makes it feel more separate from the surrounding parts because it fills it out like more depth, like he's saying. And here in this song, you can hear the pads, the twinkling pads, these are like little, ambient little, moments sprinkled in behind this like extended, like lush, breathy pad. So anyway, hopefully we explained that to you, Latte, and for what that term refers to. Shoulder pads.
You probably won't.
And Johnny's gone. Still here, you can hear it.
Hold on a second.
So replacing.
So we
the
have
camera.
not fixed our.
I'm telling you, it's the webcam utility software. We got to wipe that out with the new camera.
I'm calling back.
All right, I'll be here. Back it up. I'm gonna hear that transition again with the drums. Super cool.
高尚的命运啊，看我，看我。
I like the space here. It's coming in strong. Oh, that's awesome. I just backed it up right where we left off. I like how aggressive that section was.
Can we stop it right there for a second? I love those little moments where you have sort of contrasting. So you have two guitar parts doing arpeggios, and sometimes the notes that they play sort of clash for a second, but they create a cool. See,
Yeah.
I don't know exactly. You know, you get like those little minor seconds, which are half notes apart. So
It just
if you play this endlessly, that's going to get annoying. But if it's just in a you know, like
Indecent.
they call it tension release, you know, it's you know, there's a moment of that dissonance, but then when it's resolved, it's actually very pleasing in music. So I love those little moments.
It's woven in perfectly.
它下落不明的出发，成为某种自由的
Thanks, Art.
它是我奢侈的愿望，也是我抹杀的童话啊！是我做错了什么吗？这高尚的命运啊，这高尚的命运啊！看我。 看我，没有说告别，你看他，看他仓皇走在风中。没有说告别，你看他，
Just building that edge.
他与我永不重逢。 好的生活一个一个，好孩子一个一个，都可以好好的生活。别再问了，不要动错了没错，只要动有用没用。他回头对着我说：“若是这样，我算什么？”
Shout out to the drummer on this track too. Phenomenal.
Right.
在风中，若没有说告别，也看他
I just want to point out also, last time I'm going to stop you here, and we are going to watch the live version of this right after. The evolution of his vocal delivery. There's no copy paste. It's not like chorus, 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 and just like, oh, we'll just, fly it in or whatever.
Which is a common thing to do these days, by the way.
Very
Within
common.
the past 20 years, you take one chorus and it's just, okay, we're going to use that.
Oh,
for the
that was
rest.
perfect. So, yeah, and then they'll layer in with other things to give the illusion that it was continuously sung. This is clearly continuously sung because his edge, the air pressure, the intentional imbalances in his voice is progressing throughout the piece. So as the guitar's getting heavier, as the drums are, being more dramatic, and his voice is just leading the way, and the band's just following his lead with that, and all these little attacks and nuances in his delivery is building to something just wonderful. That if he did that in the first chorus, it wouldn't be nearly as interesting to hear the last chorus, because you already would have checked that off your list as a listener. So it's again so well done. Back into the pad there. Awesome.
Great. Thank God for real drums. It's just, again, that's another thing that's sort of fallen by the wayside in, let's call it pop music, because pop is a big umbrella.
Sure.
Popular music. Where even in, with artists that are, I guess, more pop, that are doing more of a rock thing, it'll just be very basic. It'll usually be programmed so that, like, somebody playing it and then using drum samples, which, it sounds fine. But
it has its place, sure.
You just lose the nuance and the creativity of the different subtle parts that he's putting in there, the little shifts, the little the fills going on. I mean, I just miss that stuff. It's just, I'm just so happy that he's a purist in that regard, in a lot of ways, but definitely in that regard of where he just.
And not because he may even use some pre-programmed or sampled things mixed in. It's a purist in the sense of serving the song. Like, he knows which song, which piece requires that human element versus something maybe a little bit more synthetic to create a different texture.
Sure. Yeah. I mean,
but as a whole, that's what we're hearing. Yeah.
More of a rock part, and it's just so nice to have a living, breathing player. And, I know we're actually talking a lot about production, which, and I know he has a producer, but I know he's intimately
part
involved
of all of that
in that, and it's, again, I think one of the easy things to do with his stuff is to overlook the singing, which is tremendous on this. And like you were saying, it's he's putting so many nuances in there, and his choices and his tonal flavors that he's putting in, and like when he wants to get aggressive, when he wants to be a little more relaxed, he's doing it so well. But and this is one of the things we love about him, is that it is about the whole experience. So it's like it's not that we're losing his voice because it's not impressive. It's just because he's putting. He's a one-man band. It's one person, but it's like listening to a great band.
Right. Well, and I think we have a tendency to lean more on those details in his studio when we're listening to his studio recording versus live. Because live, we also have the visual stimulation and everything else. It is more featured about the artist, and not saying we never recognize the musicianship around it, but that is the advantage of the studio experience. You get to there is no visual. It's not about putting on a show. It's not about entertaining in that aspect. It is pure ear candy in that aspect. And that's...
But there's something about his productions in particular that lean more on a band type sound, as opposed to everything is just serving the singer's voice is just way out front. Which again, I'm not saying that in a derogatory way, because that's got its place too. But like definitely pop artists, it's all about the voice. Everything else is just subservient to that. When then you have a great band like a Radiohead or Tool or whatever, or the bands of my favorite bands of the 60s and 70s. Everybody had their personality. The guitar player had his voice to say, and thing to say, and it's given its proper due. It's the difference between Rob Thomas from Matchbox 20. Matchbox 20 has a band sound. Rob Thomas has a
solo sound,
solo pop sound, where
good example.
It's just all about his voice, and then in the band setting, everybody's got their personality that's being able to show through, and that's his stuff. It's not all band oriented, but it's a lot of, at least this album is, and I just really like it because I think that's something that's not as prominent these days.
Yeah. And they tracked it perfectly. So here's the same song again. Vijandra, I see your question. I am going to answer that. I'm happy to answer that. I want to dive into his live performance.
I think some coffee buyers real quick.
Yes, please.
Okay, we have that influx.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. Okay, so Barbara, I'm going to resist. I can't. I got to do it. Ba 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 ba. Thank you for your 5 coffees. Vijandra, thank you so much. Love this album. Love listening to it together with you.
Thank you for helping us organize the video links to Vijandra. Appreciate
one
that.
Of our Diamond Thronely members, Vijandra, who's awesome. We have Sherlyn, bought 5 coffees. She says, love your reactions and love how you guys break down the music for us in interesting, digestible bits. I mean, maybe I'm not being as digestible today. I'm going off on tangents, but it is what it is. Latte lover, Johnny, pads are good. Christy needs a shoulder to cry on. I'll run it by her. Thanks to both of you for the explanation. You're very welcome. Thank you for your 5 coffees as always. And then Joanna, thank you for, and then thank you for your 3 coffees.
Yes, thank you so much. You got 2 more. Keep going.
Let's do it.
No, we got 2 more coffee buyers to thank.
Oh, geez. No, I got them. Oh, no, I didn't. Oh, the Schizo bought us 10 coffees.
Thank you, Schizo.
Yeah, thanks for continued support of Hua Chenyu. Thanks for sharing your insight. By the way, it's his 35th birthday this Friday. Yes, 7th of February.
Happy birthday, Hua Hua. Thank you for that.
And then ransomware hacker.
Art.
AKA Art. Johnny, we've hijacked your camera. Eat a plate of mushrooms to set it free. The greatest thing about all this is that I've spent more money on this camera, so that's awesome that it's doing the same.
It's definitely a software issue. But anyway, all right, let's check this one out. Thank you, everyone, for that.
You guys are awesome.
Yes, greatly appreciate it. Johnny, you have lots of Johnny-O's to record this weekend.
Yep.
Slightly faster tempo. Which is common live versus studio.
Compilation of.
Oh yeah, what we're watching is
真相错了，他没懂。
I think the audio is from the first one.
他回不去也走不动。
Correct me if I'm wrong, please.
他舍不得也爱不活啊！是每个人都这样吗？至高无上的命运啊！至高无上的命运啊！看我。
Slight different choices, in the live setting.
Oh yeah. I love how patient this is too.
没有说告别，你看他，看他仓皇走在风中。我没有说告别，你看他，看他与我永不重逢。
This spurt of energy is just so cool. I'll pause it here. I mean, this song is so interesting to me. I just love the highs and lows. I like moody music, that leans a little bit in the minor key. And my history of playing drums, I'm just like a sucker for the presentation that's highlighted in this song too, as far as the drummer goes. To answer the earlier question in regards to, is a song, and I'll use this one for an example, is this one difficult to sing? Well, that's B4, correct? That he's right? So if we look in the context real quick of the piano, for most male singers, typical range is going to be basically from the G to G for an adult male singer is kind of the overall average in terms of being able to do just voice down here and then right around here a little above speaking range and then up here if I'm going a little bit louder, right? So you've got that 2-octave range and then it's around here, maybe from the C and up, that goes another potential 2 octaves depending on how responsive your vocal folds are. That would be overlapping the head voice. So I could be in head voice here and head voice here and I know where to go up there. It's too early in the morning. So there's an overlap between chest voice and head voice. So where he's singing here, that is in the middle of the overlap between chest voice, and put my hands, chest voice and head voice, making it much more complex to execute because your voice is more likely to have like that crack sound. So yes, the challenge of balancing a big sound on the volume you want, in that range of notes is absolutely challenging. Now, there are obviously singers out there that's like a piece of cake, and that's relative to their skill sets, their genetics, and everything else. But by the average male trained singer, this is considered high range and difficult to organize in
Absolutely,
this pocket of notes. So I just wanted to clarify that.
Yep.
So, and then of course his whole emotive, I mean, he just sings with every cell in his body. So it's just his artistry comes through in his larynx, just filter through his brain, life experience. He just channels everything that makes it so emotional as well, regardless of whether the pitch is exactly on or off. And we know that about him. He's not always pitch perfect, but that's also the beauty of what he is. You know, some singers are more skilled in terms of pitch specific, but so a lot of the times we've heard some really pitch specific singers on this channel that are disconnected from their emotion too, right? So there is a little bit of sway back and forth. So it depends on the day, depends on the song, depends on what he's living in that moment. And he always prioritizes the intent of the song over whether the note is exactly on pitch. And rarely is he off, by the way. I'm not picking on him at all. It's just that's his artistic priorities, and we totally respect that.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, keep going here.
告别，也看他，也看他仓皇走在风中。我没有说告别，也看他，也看他与我永不重逢。我没有说告别，也看他，也看他仓皇走在风中。我没有说告别，也看他。看他与我永不重逢，永不重逢。
There it is, with a pure tone. Great song. Great song. All right. All right, and on to the next one is Humans Love. This is another new one for us. We are going to listen to the studio as well as live. That's what we're doing here. A profound exploration of struggle and growth in love, from human love to benevolent love to patient love and finally enlightened love. May everyone find their own answer to love and face its true essence. Love is not just about promises and joy, but also the light that shines when one rediscovers themselves and touches another soul. Beautifully written.
I like to say big love. There's the specific love, which is great, but then when you get the love for the love with the capital L and a capital T, that's where you want to go. Can I hear that journey again? What are the words? From what love to?
Oh yes.
Yeah, what is that again?
Human love to benevolent love.
Yep.
Patient love, enlightened.
Ah, nice.
Let's go.
Love it. Ooh.
Oh. I want to re-listen again. There's something beautiful about there's these little intentional hesitations. There's just this slight little delay, and it just gives it like this feel, a little tug in the phrasing of just the piano playing. I'm loving this.
Yeah, that's another thing. So overproducing a performance, like MIDI is very popular these days. So MIDI is basically again, you're recording into the computer, and it's how would you describe MIDI? It's
Ones and zeros.
breaks it down into it makes it manipulatable. So you can take a performance, and then so nowadays you can, within the past, I don't know how long, 30 years, you can quantize, make everything rhythmically perfect,
Right.
and obviously you can change the notes to make those perfect too. And again, it's without those little imperfections, those little push and pull moments rhythmically, it takes like this, which has feel,
As opposed to
as opposed to
same part. Even your facial expression did it too. You're like, and then it's just robotic. But that's what it is. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Let's listen to the song. Sorry.
Yep. Na, 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 na. Piano sound is great too. Da, 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 da.
我们在重
I just love his phrasing.
我们正向承认，爱其实快乐，放弃我轮廓，我都舍得。要和你相衬，骨骼脉搏心声。
Right. The passaggio, that
Yeah,
overlapping
exactly. Yeah.
moment. Ah.
是我们没看透人之爱的应有，要诚恳，要温柔，要不问以后。当我们都再无保留，我只有一个我，够不够？
Great choices.
"你出演你的时分，而我只能等被你选择，拿走我肉身，还是灵魂？你爱我很完整，还是那句分身？
What a scene. What a I don't know what are you getting like cinematic
Mood.
visuals from this?
I mean, it's definitely taking me to another place. I don't know if I can describe it per
I just
se,
had
but
this for me, I couldn't help but think of him, his beautiful face. It's like walking down like a path in a early morning with like leaves just like rushing around him or whatever, like the violin move things. It's very organic outside.
yeah, I
visceral.
get that. I get that. yeah, almost slightly Alice in Wonderlandy in some of the vivid colors that I'm seeing. Actually, that Robin Williams movie, What Dreams May Come, I'm sort of getting a little bit of that. That's what comes to my mind. And actually, that happens to me often when I hear a song. I'll think of a movie and they're not even related. It's just I'll put them together.
Right.
Or I'll listen to a great soundtrack and I'll make my own movie.
Well,
But yeah, this one, yeah, this very simple, but beautiful, just hauntingly beautiful. Yeah.
yeah. Sorry, I'm gonna keep going. There's more I
Yeah.
want to say, but I want to hear the rest of the song here.
只有我没看透人之爱的长久，要诀别，要自由，要相互回旧，摔碎过，谁还要挽留？我们都遗憾过，才会爱。也许太赤裸，就无法享受短暂却换我所有。
By getting swept away, just that.
当我们都曾无所求，只去爱，不去想，够不够？
Just wonderful choices.
Whoa.
I'm looking forward to hearing the live version.
Oh my God.
Here as
The
well.
more I hear him, and in particular, the more I hear this album, I'm convinced we are musical soul brothers. He is doing everything that I would want to do on a record. He's doing it so well. I mean, I'm so happy he's doing it. I'm a little envious. No envy. It's all positive. It's just all the choices he's making, and just to go into a waltz part.
Yes.
Just even that chord progression, to have that 2 to that flat 9 G chord. So flat 9. So basic G chord would sound like this. Okay, flat 9. You're taking that G and you're going up to an A flat. Just gives it a little bit of that jazzy sound, and also kind of leads you to the next chord, C major 7, and then that A chord, that A, what is that? A sharp 5. That's beautiful, man.
So on that topic of this album, I'm confused. So, because as we're listening to this, I remembered I need to purchase this, but I'm trying to find it. It shows there's only 6 songs on this album when I go to buy it. What am I doing wrong? Was it released as part 1 and part 2? Because I'm showing. Well, and here's the challenge. It's not in English, so I don't know what it actually says. Help me out here.
Yeah, and even those little violin choices too are. I don't want to distract you if you need to figure this out.
I need Martian's help. I want to buy this and support this album. The top one, when I click on that, it shows 5 through 10. So there's 4 songs missing? I'm spending my coffee money that you're supporting us with on Hua Chenyu, and I'm trying to figure out, where's the first 4 songs? That's not it. All right. I'm going to move on. I will circle back to this dilemma. Johnny, can you thank our coffee buyer? We'll move on to the next song.
Yeah, my guitar just fell. Hold on.
Oh, no. It's guitar. Oh, okay. So you're saying the first 4 songs were published as singles before the album being released. Okay, so I buy them individually and then the album? I haven't seen it done like that before.
Yes. So Susan, thank you so much for your 3 coffees. Thank you for showcasing this amazing singer, and I will add amazing singer / artist extraordinaire. Just an amazing visionary.
Agreed.
Artistic visionary.
Well, the others were free. There's 10 total. Okay. All right, I'll figure that out. Thank you for that, because I was like super confused. All right, so here's the song. This is at the Mars concert in Hangzhou in 2024, so just a year ago. Or not even. Looks like it was in October. The first 4 are free. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, I'm buying the rest out regardless.
In that major 7th. Da, 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 da.
正想承认，爱其实快乐，放弃我轮廓，我都舍得。要和你相衬，苦可脉搏心声。是我们没看透，
I love that.
人之爱的应有，要诚恳。
Back and forth between the registers, just painting a picture there.
当我们都再无保留，我只有一个我，够不够
？These little moments, little hints here and there.
Yeah.
你抽烟你的身份，而我知道。选择拿走我肉身，还是灵魂？你爱我很完整，还是那句分手？只有我没看透人之爱的诚
How much fun would you have in his band?
Oh my god. So much.
也许太赤裸，就无法享受短暂，却换我所有。当我们都曾无所求，只去爱，不去想。够不够？
Whew. Oh,
So effective. The staging, everything. His vocal performance is right on. His dynamics, all the little crescendos taking place, the chest voice, head voice, living in that passaggio, that overlapping part we
Yeah.
talked about earlier. Really, really well executed.
yeah. I'd like to amend my visual sense. I'm definitely getting more of a, on the second listen, more of a sort of reminiscent, reflective vibe.
Mm.
You know, again, the simplicity that I was hearing before, but it's just this divine you know, the most exquisite simplicity you could ever wish for. You know, it's the, you know, I'm seeing the blossoming of a flower. You know, just the most simple but
Complex.
unbelievable complex act.
Yeah.
You know, it's just and then seeing some of the lyrics, and I know the translation isn't exact, but it's you get the idea,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, just let love be without wondering if it's enough. I mean, such profound statements happening, and I just love that. Again, and maybe this is just the case with some more of an Eastern thing, which luckily we cover. That's a lot of the artists we cover are from there, and it's just that the subject matter is just such. There's so much of a more of a depth to it than. And don't get me wrong, I love Boy Meets Girl. You know, they go to the beach and they ride in their car. I love songs like that too. But you know, I mean, this type of message just speaks to me outside of music. You know,
It's,
I mean,
it's more
that's my
mature.
life. That's my life's
more,
goal.
yeah, more introspective, more, you know, the essence. It's more esoteric in ways too, and it's just it's thought provoking as a listener. It's inspiring. I just love that.
Wait, what's happening in the chat right now? Did we miss something?
Did we just go out? Stream is off. Policy violations.
Oh my god!
All right. Well, we'll stay here. We'll see if they come back.
I just swore. Sorry.
Did you? I didn't even catch it.
I did under my breath.
So it's, you know, we probably didn't break it up enough. It didn't stop as often.
Okay.
Sometimes that happens. We got one more song. We got 2 more tracks of one song, and it is recording. Stream is suspended. Well, last time it was suspended when we did. Who was it? I can't remember who it was. And then when we came back, we got a warning, and it said we would get a copyright strike if we continued it. So, all right, we're back.
We're back? Okay.
I'm told we're back.
Okay.
So, well, Johnny swore while you were gone. I didn't even hear you swear. Just because I was, whatever you said, I was feeling the same thing.
Yeah.
All right, so we were back. So here's what happens. Sometimes when we stream because we're going through the album sequentially too, there's just an automated thing that YouTube censors or catches, their AI catches, like, oh, we're streaming it illegally or anything like that. And we're not, because this is fair use. We're allowed to do reactions. We have all those permissions. but the automated system doesn't know that. So in other words, we've got one more song, and the best way around it, because we don't want to risk getting a copyright strike. That was just a suspension. There's no actual violation that took place. But there is a risk to continue. So here's what I'm going to do. Let's go to the live. So that we're going to do the last song, In the Morning Light, There's You. But let's not stream the studio version, because that's the one that gets AI goes, oh, that's exactly from the album. And then, without them, a human actually going, oh, no, they're doing a reaction. It's okay. We can get in trouble. So we're just going to play it a little safe here. Let's do the live version. And
Bridget had a good point. They were probably anticipating Johnny's swear words. That's why they cut you off.
That's right.
So it kind of reminds me of that scene in The Matrix where he knocks over the vase, and it's like, well, would you have knocked it over if I didn't say anything?
That's right. All right, so last song, In the Morning Light, There's You. This is a companionship is the longest confession of love. As time passes, our friendship remains unchanged. Let me become a cloud, drifting with you, protecting your gentle dreams. Sorry, I got a call come in. A life may sometimes feel, apologies. Let me become a cloud, drifting with you, protecting your gentle dreams. Let me become a tree, rooting firmly in the soil of life, sheltering you in the wind and rain. Life may sometimes feel constraining, but the faith in our hearts is like the morning light, guiding the way forward. May you find the morning light that belongs to you on your life's journey. All right, so
Beautiful.
yeah, I mean, I can't wait to hear this whole album, in sequence, back to back, and just kind of closing my eyes and diving into that. So I'm excited for that. All right, so let's hope we're good here. I'm going to purposely stop this a few times to make sure that we're good, and our warning violation, even though there was no actual violation, doesn't automatically become something it shouldn't be. So here we go. This one is written for Martians, Michelle says.
Right, Minority Report, exactly, yeah.
It's a different type of piano. It's like the decay and everything's a little bit different than some of the other sounds.
Attack is different. It's a little more pointed sounding.
晨曦拥抱这座城，指引着赶路的旅人。
That's cool. We hope to go to Mars one day.
给世界留下
Absolutely.
你我温存，幸福恰好决定与自己相听河流轻声在哼唱，淡水的繁星也渴望。
How great is that line? Even the drowsy stars are longing. I mean, it's a poetic interpretation. It's not a literal translation, or maybe it is, but it's just really cool adjectives to describe that.
The drowsy stars, yeah. 'cause
Yeah,
it's
and
nighttime and
longing. I mean, that's beautiful.
yeah.
Lingering in the simplest day.
将来掌心传递，随生命绽放。
Vocal delivery.
我想化作一朵云，守护天空，吹散飓风，在缤纷世界梦游。我想化作一棵树，陪伴山峰，为
I don't have a specific reason to pause it here other than to avoid a copyright strike. Any thoughts while we pause briefly?
Yeah, let me go over that chord progression.
Yeah.
I like there's sort of a hopefulness to this chord progression.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, a little longingness, but just which I'd have to hear the first song again, but I feel like this is sort of vibe-wise, it sort of bookends the whole thing a little bit with that sort of
possibly
folky, I don't know.
All right. Thanks for bearing with me. Thank you for that chord progression information. Just play. Let's get to the end of the song. I'm just like see what happens. It's gonna fall on us.
Yeah.
I like this hook. That was cool. Was that another, like, that wasn't a key change? Was that another minor to major, or was just a different?
Yeah, it's just weaving in and out of the key a little bit, but then pretty much staying firmly in it. So. And then it does a.
Yeah.
That little E with a G sharp in the.
That's got that that Toy Story progression feel to it. Do you know what I'm talking about, though? Not that part.
You got a friend in me.
No, he sounds nothing like Randy Newman.
No, I can't do it.
No, there's a chord progression. I'm thinking. Anyway.
Oh, yeah, I think so. I think I know what you're like in the actual score.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love from Mars says the first song is about us collectively anticipating the sunrise concert, and this song is about our life after the sunrise concert. That's cool.
Okay, so thematically it's bookended.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even musically, it kind of goes with that a little bit too. That breaks out.
What a feel-good experience this whole album is. And it explores so many depths of just contemplates love and meaning and purpose and challenging the ego in so many ways.
What a journey! What a journey
Awesome.
that he gives. Musically, production-wise, his live performances, the stage setup. I mean, it's all just exquisitely thought out.
Real quick, Johnny, I think we had a couple coffees come in. I want to make sure we don't look over them. Also had a super chat. Thank you, Oscar Hu, for both of your super stickers. Greatly appreciate that.
Yeah, so thank you to... Oh, okay, I already thanked Susan, but thank you again for the 3 coffees. And then RF8, thank you for your coffee so much.
And thank you, everyone, for joining us today. We went a little over, but I ain't complaining. Thank you for hanging out with us.
That.
Thank you for our Thronely members, our silver, and these are our gold and diamond members as well for your support. This was so much fun. I'm looking forward to hearing the whole thing.
Beautiful.
To all
Beautiful
of our
album.
Martian friends, love from Earth, thank you for sharing your music with us and your love of Hua Chenyu with us. We hope you have an amazing day, and we will see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
See ya.